Meet the sweetest streaks in sports. When wins and losses come and go, a sustained level of awesomeness can create great gains in the record books, great anticipation amongst fans and foes, all while putting the pressure on to keep on winning. A solid run of form might separate the best from the rest, but there's no running from the truth. One of the great things about being a professional athlete is all the luxury travel that they enjoy. Sucks to be them. But there is one team that calls the world their home and makes travel a part of their name: the Harlem Globetrotters. The exhibition basketball team has showcased their unique blend of sublime basketball skill with humor before over 144 million fans in 122 countries, since being founded back in 1926.
I'm sure if they open the doors for us, there's not anywhere that we won't play.
Once more popular than their NBA counterparts, the team broke the color and gender barriers in the sport and pioneered the slam dunk, fast break, forward and point guard positions. Their greatest player was arguably basketball's greatest exponent, Meadow Mark Lemon. The clown prince of basketball averaged 325 games a year, playing before popes, presidents, and kings. The great Wilt Chamberlain said that Meadow Lark was the most sensational, awesome, incredible basketball player I've ever seen. People would say it would be Dr. J or even Michael Jordan. For me, it would be Meadow Mark Lemon. For all their theatrics, being a globetrotter doesn't come without its hazards. And cracking the lineup is more than just cracking jokes, because being a globetrotter means being great at the game.
I bet you guys never seen this before. Watch this.
So good are these ballers, in 2016 they broke 9 world records, including the longest blindfolded shot, 69 feet from the hoop. They also hold the game's longest winning streak, having collected 2,495 straight victories during their heyday of the 50s to the 70s. And although not everyone is impressed with their antics, they've had a huge impact on the world, both on and off the court. Coming up, those sweet streaks of the world game. The Romanian capital city of Bucharest rests on the banks of the Dâmbovița River and boasts an elegance in its architecture and culture that has earned it the nickname of Little Paris. There once was a time when the city also boasted the best football team in all of Europe. Steaua Bucharest was the crowning jewel of club football in the mid to late 80s, having gone unbeaten in 106 straight domestic matches. A sweet streak that stands as an all-time continental record. Steaua claimed 5 straight league titles under managers Emeric Genai and later Anghel Ionescu, even winning Romania's first ever European Cup in 1986. and the European Super Cup in 1987. The winning goal in that Super Cup final came from the country's greatest ever player, Giorgi Hai. The Maradona of the Carpathians was a 7-time Romanian Footballer of the Year and was also voted as one of the top 100 players by World Soccer magazine.
For me, it's an honor that a Romanian got to be one of the 100 best players of all time. I'm proud of that. It means that I did something phenomenal in football. Extraordinary.
Despite dominating on the domestic front, things have since gone sour for Stour in Europe, with their loyal fans having to endure the team's one-year ban by UEFA in 2011 for alleged match fixing. They may always have the World Games' greatest undefeated streak to brag about, but they weren't the only invincibles. Three teams in European club football have garnered the nickname the Invincibles, thanks to their winning streaks. The first was Preston North End, which went undefeated for an extended period in the 1880s. But since then, their only sniff of big-time success was finishing runners-up to West Ham United in a heartbreaking 1964 FA Cup final, giving up the game-winning goal in injury time.
They broke through in the last minute of the match, one of the most dramatic winning goals ever seen at Wembley. Scorer, Ronnie Boyce.
They've been far from invincible since then, losing 2-1 to the last Invincibles side, Arsenal, in an FA Cup third-round clash in 2017.
It was a great cup tie, and we needed to dig deep to win the game today.
Wenger would know a thing or two about digging deep, as his 2003-04 Arsenal side is the last English team to go undefeated in a season. A winning streak of 49 games that garnered the Gunners the Premier League title and the Invincibles label. The team was so good, their starting attack of Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp were both immortalized in bronze once their careers were over.
They asked me, is it okay if we build a statue for you outside the stadium? I was like, wait a minute, you have to ask me? It's fantastic.
Another member of that fantastic side was defender Kolo Touré.
I think to go through unbeaten in the season, you don't think that at the start of the season. This is the thing, and you just get it because the season is going well. You're winning games, you don't lose, which is really important. But why you've been doing well? Because you've been focused on winning the next game. And for us, the most important, just want to enjoy the game, give everything, make our fans happy, and that's it. And at the end, if we can be unbeaten, it's great.
Over a decade later, Touré became a member of Scottish side Celtic FC and suddenly found himself guiding another group of invincibles, having helped Celtic go undefeated domestically in 47 league and cup games in the 2016-17 season.
As a football player, when you come to any club, you want to win. And for me, I've been to clubs who have been winning, and for me, it was really important that I joined another club where, the club want to win, and when Brandon gave me the opportunity to come here and just try to win more trophy, I thought it was great.
The Brendan he's referring to is manager Brendan Rodgers, the Liverpool cast-off, who helped guide the boys to an unprecedented, unbeaten domestic treble.
There's different ways to win. People will tell you that have experienced it, you can win something and it not be the same feeling, but to win and foster the spirit that we have here throughout the whole football club can make it really special.
Incidentally, Celtic were the first Scottish club to go undefeated in a season, having done so in 1897-98. The other club, their hated rivals, Glasgow Rangers, who returned the favour one season later. But perhaps the most powerful out of all the invincible teams was the one Fabio Capello inherited from Arrigo Sacchi, AC Milan. That team arguably had the greatest ever starting 11, with Sebastiano Rossi in goal, a back four of Mauro Tassotti, Franco Baresi, Alessandro Costacurta, and Paolo Maldini, a midfield featuring Roberto Donadoni, Frank Rijkaard, Carlo Ancelotti, and Demetrio Albertini, and finally, Ruud Gullit and Marco van Basten terrorizing defenders up front. Having gone unbeaten in 58 league matches between 91 and 93, the Rossoneri won the 1991-92 Scudetto without losing a single game. In 2017, Real Madrid had their 40-game unbeaten streak in all competitions snapped at Sevilla. But while it still set the benchmark for Spanish football supremacy, it was a far cry from the record of 62 matches without a loss in all competitions set by Celtic. They achieved the feat exactly 100 years before Real came close, followed by Union SG of Belgium. Since the advent of European competition, Portuguese side Benfica has the longest unbeaten streak of 48, followed by Dynamo Zagreb, Juventus, Ajax, and AC Milan. The Battle of the Ballon d'Or is a curious one. Because some see the superstar spectacle as a money-hungry media grab, where footballers trade their studs for their suits, and the so-called Player of the Year is given a large golden ball. But others simply see it as a chance to applaud the best footballer of the year. And one streak that might be hard to beat is that of Lionel Messi. Because the man known as the Messiah took home the title 4 straight times between 2009 and 2012, to the delight of his family and fans. But in 2013, the streak was ended by his nemesis, Cristiano Ronaldo.
I have to be proud of my work, what I did during the year, and this is going to give me motivation to work more and dedicate myself more for the future, and I hope to be here next year to try to win the third one.
He did just that, winning his second straight Ballon d'Or and third overall, replacing the humble acceptance banter with an off-putting victory cry. However, little Lionel silenced him just 1 year later, taking the title back in 2015. The two have played Ballon d'Or ping-pong since Ronaldo won his first in 2008, proving this is one sweet sports streak that's hard to break. After the break, the winning ways of world tennis. When royal tennis went outdoors in the late 19th century, the surface of choice was grass, and the venue, the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club in Wimbledon.
Oyez! Oyez! Welcome to the first day of Wimbledon!
From familiar faces like the royal family to the rest of us commoners, people of the world have been flocking to southwest London to witness what Wimbledon has to offer since the first edition in 1877.
I grew up and I saw this incredible place. It seemed so far away when I was growing up in New York, but there was a beauty to it just on the TV, the grass courts. There's a tradition to it, obviously, but also the way that everyone around acts and the reverence it gets.
But for all the legends that have graced the sport's oldest stage, there is one tradition associated with the event that truly takes the cake.
Please eat a strawberry with cream. That's more important.
She's serious. People here go crazy for strawberries and cream.
When I came here 7 years ago, I think was the first time, or 8 years ago, I played Wimbledon, and first thing I tried was strawberries and cream. And that's the most famous thing about Wimbledon, right?
No, you're not right.
You come to Wimbledon because it's historic. You have your Pims and strawberries and crap like that, and you sit and you watch, you know, the oldest, greatest tournament of all time.
Not only is it the oldest and arguably greatest of the tennis tournaments, but its king is the most famous thing about it these days, making winning Wimbledon his tournament ritual. On July 16, 2017, Roger Federer cemented his status as the greatest tennis player of all time when he downed Marin Cilic in straight sets to take his 8th Wimbledon title. In doing so, Federer became the men's leader in singles titles won on the hallowed grounds of the All England Club with 8, surpassing William Renshaw and Pete Sampras for tops all time. It also distanced himself from Rafa Nadal as the leader in men's Grand Slam singles titles with 19.
I haven't set sight on a number of Grand Slams that I have to or want to achieve. I never really had that. I was very content at 17, I must tell you. So, of course, I was going to be happier at 18, and I'm even happier at 19. I think for me, it's really about you know, just enjoying myself, staying healthy, and then we'll see what happens. You know, I'm playing for titles at this stage of my career. Rankings, not so much.
Tied with Bjorn Borg for the most consecutive Wimbledon singles titles with 5, the Fed Express also became the first man to emerge victorious at Wimbledon without dropping a set since Borg did it back in 1976.
You need all aspects like a puzzle to fit together at the same time nicely, and I think that's what I did well here this tournament. I was unbelievably focused. It was a great performance for me on the mental side.
Clearly, Federer and grass courts are a match made in tennis heaven, as highlighted by his record for longest ATP match win streak on the surface with 65, between 2003 and 2008. At the start of the year, a finally healthy Federer came back from a long layoff, and in the eyes of many, the dead, when he took home Grand Slam number 18, defeating Rafa Nadal on the hard courts of the Australian Open.
I saw people just being generally really happy for me that I won a slam again, and particularly this one, maybe it's a bit of a fairy tale, you know, after the comeback, to come back this way. So on so many levels, I just felt like a lot of people were happy, you know, and that's almost more important than me being happy that I was able to do it and win an 18th. But of course, it was always going to be super special beating Nadal in the finals.
The victory made him a 5-time Australian Open champion on a surface he also has been able to dominate. In fact, Federer also holds the record for longest win streak on hard courts, having taken 56 straight matches between 2005 and 2006. The man he beat in Melbourne in 2017 is the undisputed king of clay, who has set the bar higher than anyone else on that surface. In 2017, Rafa Nadal won his 10th French Open, overwhelming Federer's compatriot Stan Wawrinka in straight sets.
Happened 10 times here already. I have been magical, the things that happened in this tournament for me.
Nadal holds the longest winning streak record on clay, having won 81 straight between 2005 and 2007. The longest winning streak in men's tennis, that goes to the great Guillermo Vilas, who won 46 straight matches in 1977. For all the winning streaks in tennis, perhaps the most impressive one is held by a woman. Because if Ivan Lendl went 14 straight years with at least one singles title, the queen of the game, Martina Navratilova, added 7 more years to that number. 21 straight years with at least one WTA singles title. That means she was a titleist in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. 3 decades of dominant tennis, giving her elite tennis status.
You know, you can't discount Martina Navratilova. And, you know, there's so many great ones, but her name would stick out immediately.
When one thinks of surfing, the first name that comes to most minds is that of 11-time World Surf League champion, the eternal Kelly Slater. The fearless American can't get enough of the waves, able to ride them to submission time and time again. Case in point, the 2016 Billabong Pro Tahiti. Defying time, the then 44-year-old executed 2 perfect 10s in qualifying for the final. It's a feat that's only been done a handful of times in 40 years of professional surfing.
I just thought the first one was to me, it was a lot more difficult, so I wasn't sure whether they were going to throw the 10 on the second one. But, you know, had I got that second one in any other heat, I thought, yeah, they'd probably give me a 10. It was right up there.
Slater then outscored John Florence in the final, securing his first event win in over 2 years against a man nearly half his age. King Kelly holds a few impressive records, including that of being both the youngest and the oldest person to win a world title. But his sweetest surfing streak is that of winning the World Championship 5 times in a row, from 1994 to 1998. Having broken his foot in a freak accident in the waters of South Africa in 2017, you may think at his age he'd hang up the competitive board for good. But Slater keeps surfing on.
There's nothing I'd rather do than surf, and so I mean, I literally wake up every day and look at the maps on the whole world and think I can go anywhere. Where can I go? So it's, you know, it's a real luxury at this time in my life to have that opportunity. But you know, at some point I'll probably get married and have kids, and I won't be able to do that. I won't still be the selfish pro surfer that I am.
The waves can be unforgiving, and one false move or illusion of grandeur can leave you crushed by the barrel. And then there are the occupational hazards that could scare you away for good. But rather than call it a career and relax a little, it seems Slater's got father time in a headlock and surfing in the veins. Still to come, other sweet sporting streaks.
Let me show you motherfuckers what a $100 million fighter look like. Still got $100 million and they ain't ever touched this.
That classy monologue came courtesy of one of boxing's greatest undefeated champions, Floyd Mayweather Jr. But while his record will always come with an asterisk after his money grab with Conor McGregor, other sweet sporting streaks are purely awesome from start to finish. Another sport with an asterisk is cycling, because Miguel Indurain holds the record for most consecutive Tour de France titles with 5, but Lance Armstrong won 7 in a row. But we all know how that ended.
Yes or no? In all 7 of your Tour de France victories, did you ever take banned substances or blood dope?
Yes. I don't think he has much of a legacy anymore. I think that that disappeared with this Oprah Winfrey interview.
Then there's Tiger Woods, a man who now spends much of his time at book launches with the odd nap in between. But there once was a time when he was on top of the golfing world. In fact, between 2000 and 2001, Woods won a record 4 straight major championships, a feat now known as the Tiger Slam. But those days are now a distant memory.
I always like to see somebody dominating because it gets tremendous coverage. And that's why I was so sad to see the fall of Tiger Woods. And there's nobody playing today that was a Tiger Woods.
In beach volleyball, Misty May Traynor and Kerry Walsh of the United States went undefeated in 112 straight matches between 2007 and 2008, and hold the record in the sport for consecutive Olympic gold medals with 3.
We want to be the best and greatest team there ever was in our sport. And I think we solidified that by winning our 3rd gold medal.
But out of all the pro sports on the planet, the longest recorded winning streak was set in squash. where Pakistan's Jahangir Khan won 555 consecutive matches between 1981 and 1986. That said, Australian Heather McKay went unbeaten for 19 years in the same sport, from 1962 to 1981. However, an official tally doesn't exist. Some streaks seem unbreakable, others are up for grabs. Whatever the case, sweet sports streaks are statistics in sporting almanacs worth fighting for. Because not only do they underline just how dominant an athlete is, but it gives all the other ones a goal to work towards, and perhaps even surpass. And that is the truth.